Hey folks, so Teardrop by Massive Attack, actually written by Liz Fraser from the Cocktail Twins, so that sang it as well. Just the melody line in that song, I think, is just amazing. It's really, really good. It's one of my favourites. Anyway, the actual guitar riff is really simple. What I've got here, I'm 12 string obviously. As is quite common with 12 strings, I have it tuned down below standard tuning, puts less tension on the neck, although I've got such light strings on this I doubt it would make that much difference anyway. But basically I've got it tuned down to standard D rather than standard E, so everything is two notes or two semitones lower than it would be normally. So I've got a D string, my A is now a G, my D is now a C, my G is now an F, my B is now a and my high E is also a D. And I've got the capo on the 2nd fret, but only going as far as the 5th string, so it leaves my lowest string down as a D, and everything else then is standard tuning above that. So it basically gives me drop D tuning just by putting the capo over 5 strings, which means I can play all my standard chord shapes. And everything's still in its normal place, which is quite a handy thing. I think I'm slightly out of tune here, so I'm just going to pause this while I get tuned up again. Okay, that's better. Right, so where were we? Yeah, so basically I've got standard tuning with drop D just by using the capo over the 5 frets, over the 5 strings, sorry, all on the 2nd fret. Really handy way of doing it, because you, as I say, those notes down on the low E string are now still in the same place as they would be normally, but you still get drop D, so it's pretty cool. So this tune is pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. If you know a D2 chord, D sus2, some people call it a D9, so I suppose it doesn't really matter, it's both. It's 2nd fret on the G string and 3rd fret on the B string. But instead of playing it how you would normally play it with those 3 fingers, how you play your D chord, I want you to use your 2nd finger on the G string and your pinky on the B string, because you need these 2 fingers free, because they're going to walk around and do the bass line for you. So the picking pattern we're going to do is A string, G string, E string, G string, B string, B string, E string. So it goes up. And the 2nd time around to do it, we go down. So we come back to the G string rather than finishing on the E string at the end of the 2nd one round. So it just does that in the intro, 2 or 3, 4 times through. It fades in. I can't remember exactly how many times it does it. You need to check it. So A string, G, E, G, B, G, B, E. 1st time round. 2nd time round, A string, G string, E string, G string, B string, G string, B string, G string. And then for the rest of the song, it just always ends on the E string rather than the G string. So as soon as the vocal comes in, so we're going to play that same thing the whole time. It's this shape here sits under all the chords. So our first note is with the A string, and then down to the G, over to the G note here, which is the would be the 3rd fret on the low E string, but because of the capo I'm on the 5th. And then I can go down to the drop D, so the open E string, and then back to A again. Now if you don't want to retune and all the rest of it, and mess around with capos and retune your guitar, instead, to get that low D note, you couldn't get the low D note, but you could just play the open D string instead of that. I think it sounds better with the lower note, but hey, it's up to you. You do what you do. So we reach across to the G note, and then to the open D, back to A, G note, D note, back to A. Then the chorus section comes down to, you get an F note here, so it'll be your 1st fret on the E string, up to G, and then back to A. F, G, A. So you see this bit here just stays there the whole way through. And of course you can strum it as well. Now if you're strumming it, your A note, I would add to the shape that you've got here with these 2 fingers, add the D string on the 2nd fret, or the 4th fret, 2nd fret above the capo. So that gives you an A sus4, A sus4, G sus2, be an F sus2 as well. We couldn't swear on that. Point is, there's no major or minor chords in this tune at all. It's all suspended chords. It's all 2s or 4s. And the effect that has is it allows the melody line to sort of wander between major and minor. And I think that's one of the things that really grabs you about it. It's just such a great tune. So there you go. That's Teardrop by Massive Attack and Elizabeth Fraser. One of my favourite tunes of all time. I think the melody in it is just amazing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. So thanks very much for watching. Cheers. Bye bye.